we're gonna have a full.
Oh, no, we welcome
You're
people to the
welcome.
table.
Get in the picture here. Look at the agenda. if you want.
I printed 5 agendas. It's too pretty outside. Nobody's coming to use it.
Can I get your name for the minutes?
Matt Davis.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's the one that we did.
Okay, we're live. We're good.
Yeah, do them. You do
We're
it?
live recording.
No, I didn't. I know we did.
We're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order.
You signed it? Oh, I'll wait.
Wait,
You guys all hear me?
Yeah,
Calling the meeting to order?
you got it.
They're ignoring you.
Oh. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Updates to the agenda.
None.
No.
That.
Yes.
Woo! Public comment.
Here.
Just here?
Oh, okay. Cruising.
Wastewater treatment facility construction contract resolution.
Okay. So I sent this guys to you guys. So
Yep.
When we originally made the motion back in January to authorize Joel and I to sign all the stuff for the wastewater treatment plant, we left the contract off that motion. And
Oh.
so none of us were actually authorized to sign it. So the attorney sent us what we need to fix because we have to send a form to USDA.
All right, so I will make a motion to ratify the agreement
Yes.
signed by Joe Cope with the effective date of April 14th, 2025, between the town of Brighton and Negley Chase Construction Company in an amount not to exceed $5,982,700 for construction of the wastewater treatment facility upgrade.
A second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right,
I'll have to sign this, what we think.
What day is this? This is the second?
Thank you kindly.
Next up is the fireworks display, and we did get an email asking us to bring up any policy we have at our town level. To answer the question, we don't have a strict policy by ourselves at the town level. Short of the state law is about what it is. Typically this week always raises a few questions. And typically the police kind of handle it as they need to. But other than state law, which states that they shouldn't be happening,
yeah,
there's,
Without a state permit, right?
right,
Right.
so you have to get a permit and you have to have a pyrotechnics license and all that fun stuff.
Like the town does. I mean, the form gets that every year. I mean, the town gives the signs that Rick signs it for the thing.
Yeah, so without those, it's up to the police to enforce, and honestly, this week they tend to look the other way
They have for the
Nationwide.
years past. Yeah, that's.
nationwide.
Any complaints you direct to
They can contact the police.
state or sheriff?
They can call the
Yep.
police,
So you gotta tell them.
but
Yep.
there's nothing that's going to happen. The police have told us this
Yeah.
many times that
They've been doing
they
it
have
for years.
hundreds of complaint calls and they're not responding to all of those. I mean, and literally, what are you gonna do about it?
I
We don't
was
Have a
just-
fireworks ordinance.
Oh,
It basically mirrors the state,
We don't have an ordinance at all. for
We don't.
fire-
right,
No, we
so
don't.
we go to the state ordinance.
Right, which says basically that it's legal to sell fireworks, but as soon as you walk out the door, you're illegal with them. That's the
We just
law.
have to worry about our beach down here and that's it, right? That's all we gotta worry about. This-
Yeah.
Well, what
I-
happened-
I'll do that.
People-
Yeah.
I understand, but it's just make blip here now.
Get a permit.
Yeah.
We do the permit always, the permit was done last December,
Yeah,
so.
We're
I always have to give it to Rick because our fire department is there.
Correct. That's all we should worry about then.
Yep.
Wastewater treatment facility updates.
So we are moving along with that. Lagoon number 2 was completed last week, with sludge removal. They started lagoon number 1 this week, so it puts them ahead of schedule. Everything's moving along pretty well. I met for the umpteenth time today with the state on funding, and I think that we have that situated with them. I think they might understand it, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
So ahead of schedule is gonna save us money
It is gonna, it will save us
a
money.
little bit.
No, actually, we should save a considerable amount because they're looking at, when I talked to the construction company, their plan is that the plant will be complete next May. Well, the timeline laid out by the engineer does not put that plant finished until next December. So that's, about 4 months ahead of schedule will be completed. Well, we're paying for a resident project engineer every day to be on site. So if we say 4 months of him at $250 an hour, it's a considerable sum of money.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
so we're very happy with that. Everything's doing well with them.
And just so y'all know, we're meeting, Mike, how many times a month with them for progress meetings? Twice a month, 3
Yeah.
times a month, actually, with the engineers, just to keep track of this project, doesn't get away from us.
Yeah. And I'm talking with the state consistently because we already got one engineering services amendment from HTA, and I had a very pointed conversation with them about their amendment last week and told them there will be no more approvals on anything without a real reason, because we got an additional $25,000 in engineering fees for them to help with the fire permit and some 2 other permits. And the state kind of pushed back at me and they said, I'd argue it, but then USDA came through yesterday and said, oh, we approve it all. So our argument doesn't go anywhere at this point because USDA said it's fine. So I can't really tell them, no, we're not going to sign it. But I did have a real discussion with them because I do not want us to be nickel and dime by the engineer to try and make up for the money they may lose on back end. So we're being very cautious about that. And I told them that no more, we will have an amendment in place before you're going to do any work, or we won't be approving it. So.
Water treatment systems update.
So, Joel and I met with them and the water board already went over this. We are moving forward with water treatment plants and we will be doing a bond vote this fall. So that project will probably be we don't have a final number, but I'm guessing somewhere between 8 and 10 million to replace the 2 water treatment plants. Now
Those with liners, Mike?
the liners for the reservoir.
Oh, okay.
And we already have the funding for the 1 reservoir. That liner project will happen right after Labor Day. They just went out to bid yesterday. And that's funded by a grant 100%. We're not paying for that because that was an emergency grant that we got. So that one's paid for and that will be finished. We will be adding another liner to the other reservoir as part of the big project because they were both supposed to be done, but with the leak down here, we got other funding to help cover that. But so Joel and I met with the water board to go over where we're planning for the future on these 2 plants. So it's kind of like when we started the wastewater treatment plant, the engineers at that time brought forward that, well, did you want to include space for phosphorus treatment? We weren't required to treat phosphorus when we started that project. And, they were, I forget what the additional cost was. I mean, there's an additional cost to add that. And, Joel and I looked at it and we're like, sounds like a pretty good idea to go ahead and put it in. Fast forward 4.5 years later, we're required to treat for phosphorus. So we didn't have to go back and redesign the whole building. It was a worthwhile decision to make back then. We're faced with the same thing with the water treatment plants right now. So we have a well at both plants that we don't use because the water is full of iron and manganese. We do not currently have treatment at those two plants for that, so we really can't use the water. And so, the big hoopla that's delayed that project so long is them talking about finding alternative water sources beyond the brooks that we've got. And so the engineer came to us and said, we have to decide, do we want to go ahead and put in treatment for those two wells we've got? Or do we want to wait? If we wait, there'll be no grant funding for it. It's going to be on us to pay it. And to add that to both plants is it's good, just shy of $1 million. It's about $400,000 per plant. But we're probably going to be 50% grant from USDA funding, would be my guess. So we're only on for half that. So we kind of went back and forth, and the water and sewer board agreed. Joel and I were like, we'll make the decision, but we want confirmation. But so we are putting that into those plants. The water sewer board did agree that was a wise decision to just go ahead, because at some point the state is going to try and restrict our access to the brooks, and we're going to need to be able to make up that water somehow. And so this makes so we already have the wells there. We can add additional wells. We can make the well deeper, but it should protect our water source for at least the foreseeable future, or at least the life of these two plants. But we've given them the go ahead to get everything in process so that we can go to a bond vote this fall. And then it would go to bid in the winter time, and we would start construction next summer on that. So it's more an FYI for you guys for the bond vote. So, because that's something the select board has to do, because the town is the one who has to bond for it.
Let's be prepared.
Yes. I'm gonna make sure that we have plenty of public information out there ahead of time and outreach. And I think we should, I don't think that the people in town are gonna be opposed to it, because we don't really have an option.
Right?
Our water treatment plants are, 15 years past their life. They were supposed to have been replaced 15 years ago and weren't. So they're held together with bubble gum and tape.
There's many things. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, so on to an animal control officer. You guys know that we don't have one currently. I have reached out and left a message with Charleston's animal control officer. I have not heard back. Good chance this is not a week that you're going to hear back from anybody. So I will continue to reach out. And Mike, did you wind up putting that up?
I'm getting that. It's going to be posted this week.
So we'll get that posted that is a vacancy. But meanwhile, if anybody knows someone who wants to be an ACO, tell your mom.
Took me a long time to get here.
Hey, you came to a meeting. So now you can-
Like, welcome to meetings. This is how you get signed up for things. So yeah, if anybody knows anybody who's interested in that role, have them get a hold of Mike, and we could use what? Door access software upgrade.
So we've given the go ahead. Teresa and I went through the training with them and everything for the new software. They can't find anybody in this area to install it. So I'm dealing with some guy in Connecticut now, and he said, I will find you somebody. I'm like, is it something we can install ourselves? And he goes, no. So I said, okay, well, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Mike, would you have a problem if I try to, I know he does this too, David Martin? Would that be something you'd be interested in doing if he's local? Well, he lives up in Westmore, but he's in Stowe working now. He takes, the ITT guy for Stowe. And he does this for the fire departments and.
What, the door access?
That's it, yeah.
We have to buy it. It has to be one of the authorized installers. It's a company.
Oh, it does. Oh, I thought we just said
No, we already have everything here. We have to have an addition to our current system so that it connects to the cloud.
I got you. All right.
So, yeah, I'm like, just plug it in. I can plug it in. I don't need
Well, that's
somebody to do
something-
that, but I guess it's more involved than that,
Yes.
at least what he told me.
Right.
We don't pay for installation.
Oh.
The installation part was free. We're just
Okay.
paying for the part. But
Yeah.
But the people who installed it, who we did not have good service from in the first place, are no longer an authorized sales place, so. And that's making it more difficult.
So pay orders, Teresa's got those. Gonna get those all signed and whatnot in.
You need your autograph?
Possibly.
Just so you know, the road department is taking Monday as a holiday, not tomorrow, because they're helping out getting town ready for,
It's Friday, then nobody worked.
Oh,
Friday,
okay,
so you
yeah.
designate the date.
Well, that's good.
Right, so they're helping out getting town ready for
Yep.
July weekend tomorrow.
But Teresa's taking tomorrow off.
And they're gonna have the road filled in out here and everything for the weekend, real nice.
Say, I saw it was all cleaned up again, so it must be the
Sweet street sweeper came through this
Yes,
morning.
yeah, again.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did a good job out back here, fixing that, done with all, even the sidewalk and everything, the threshold, big difference, looks great out back. Nice job they did.
Still chasing after our hot water heater for this building.
I'll give him a call tomorrow. I'm not working tomorrow. I gotta be out and around, running around doing stuff anyway, so.
I know we're not a priority when it comes to hot water, because you can live without it. We don't use.
Today,
it.
this weather, we could just go jump in the lake, huh? Hey,
I was out kayaking Monday night.
gotta be warm now.
Monday night, it was hot. The water was like very warm. The lake was very nice.
Good.
Actually, while you guys are doing that, I'll let you know, Brighton Rec got they've had three locals complete the paddle challenge where they paddle on 10 places. And one person mailed in their self-addressed stamped envelope with all of their places that they did while they were up here on vacation. So we've got a lot of motion and movement on the paddle challenge. We have coming up, we have the kids archery, which is 15 slots and there are 13 of them filled. Then we have the adult axe throwing and there are 15 slots on that. And there are 8 of those filled. So there's still a couple of spots on that. And then we have our full moon kayaks. That's not until August, but we've got, 10 people signed up for that already. And we have Pondathon coming up August 31st, which is our big fundraiser. And we've just published that link and that's going out. So yeah, lots of stuff going on that front.
What's the dates on that Pondathon?
August 31st, always Sunday of
Was-
Labor Day weekend. I don't like red pen.
You want a pen? You got a red pen?
No, somebody wrote on one of these in red.
I
pen.
also got, I don't know if any of you are interested, I got a link to, or an invitation today from VLCT. They're holding a webinar on July 16th, I think, or somewhere middle of July, on municipal ordinances and in their enforcement. I signed up for it, but if any of you are interested, I can send it to you and you're all welcome to attend it. But I thought it was kind of,
What date?
good
July
questions like
16th?
that. It's in the middle of July. I'll send it to you. I just got it this afternoon.
God, they should have that in November. or something.
Yeah, can they do it in like
Mhm.
May,
Nose flying.
March, when there's nobody around?
I mean, because if it's a nice day.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit inside for an hour and a half and listen to them talk on Zoom?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's like 1 to 2:30 or something like that.
Oh.
And I will say we're signed up, the town will be represented. I mean, I'm going, and I think Heather might be going with me to, the Keys to the Kingdom in Newport in August. It's kind of like the old state estate program the state used to have, where we try and attract people to move to town and live here. They're here on vacation. And we actually have at least one of the people that's going to that is staying at Brighton State Park. So
Okay.
we'll be schmoozing them to get them to move here, because they've expressed interest in moving here. That's why they're signed up. So we're doing that, and I did sign up to attend the following Monday. I'm going to the VCRD Summit in Randolph. They have every year. always a good networking event. I think I sent you guys a link. If anybody's interested in going, let me know. I'll sign
That's
you up.
Monday.
That is a Monday, yes. Teresa's been, she said, it's fun. She loved it.
Monday, the what?
That's why she's not going this year.
August,
I
right?
don't know. She didn't tell me she's not going this year. I told her she'd go.
It's August 25th, right?
No,
No, it's July.
July.
No, the VCRD thing.
Yeah,
That's in August. August,
25th.
no. Not that late. It's the same week. It's the Monday after the thing in Newport.
11th.
That's it.
See if I can get that day off from work. Okay, up next is the minutes from our last meeting, which were sent to us by email. Did everybody get to review those?
Yes.
Any questions?
Make a motion, to accept the minutes of the previous select board meeting as written.
And a second?
Second.
Did you have
I'll-
something? Looked like you were gonna say something.
No,
All in favor?
end up on a committee.
Yeah.
You don't wanna be the
Hey, you're
All
already on
in
water board.
favor?
animal control.
I
We put you in enough in the last month.
learned my lesson. I said,
What did you get?
said, take out the trash and I didn't do that.
I missed the last meeting and I didn't really read that where it said you and I got voted in for it. What'd you get? What'd you end up?
Oh, you missed the last meeting. You're the new animal control officer. Sorry.
Yeah.
You up to
You'll be
speed.
better.
I read the minutes, but I just talked about Bruce.
Well, your minutes were special. We redacted that
Yeah,
portion, so you didn't.
That was executive.
Yeah, executive dog catcher, right? That's right. How many complaints? Do you have an idea how many complaints we had? We did.
But remember, it's not just a dog catcher. You're also responsible for catching pigs, which happens way more frequently than anyone would like to admit.
Horses,
Oh.
chickens, you name it.
Uh-huh. But
Chicken.
pigs are the ones. This
Yeah, like I'm gonna catch one of them. Yeah.
What do we pay that guy?
Eh,
What do we
Pounds
pay
old.
the animal control officer? $1,200 a year?
No, I think it's up to 2.
I think it's
Two?
2,000. I've got it written down in my office.
Oh, Bruce.
And then there's mileage and a couple of other things that are allowed.
Mileage,
per
yeah.
dog.
Win $2,000.
Might be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta see what we can do about mileage.
See.
Yeah.
So the only other thing that I'm going to tell you is that we are hosting a VLCT Board of Civil Authority training here on July 22nd for the surrounding towns. So nobody has to be here but me.
Are you sure?
Are we sure that we don't need to be here for that? Like, are we?
I mean, you're
part
more
of
than
a
welcome to
BCA?
come. You're more than welcome to come because it's a training on how to run grievance hearings.
What day is that?
That is
July
July 22nd. It is a Tuesday,
From what day?
What
And-
time?
5:30 to 7:30
PM.
PM. And it will be here.
And it will be available on Zoom too. I would
Yes, and it
imagine,
will be
because it'll
available on
VLCT
Zoom because it's
Zoom.
on VLCT Zoom. So,
That's why
it
we're
will
hosting it,
be
'cause we have
with-
the Zoom.
correct. It will be our town, Morgan, Charleston.
And
In this room
more
here?
than-
Really? Okay.
So if more than 3 of us happen to want to attend that, we would have to
No,
warn it or no, because
No,
we're not
no, you-
making decisions.
Because it's a
Right.
training.
you're
Okay,
not
I'm just
attending
making
as the
sure.
board.
I'm just making sure. Okay, any other business? Okay, we don't have a need for an executive session,
I
correct?
would just leave it on there in case something ever
Okay.
came up, but we don't.
Then,
I'm on motion to adjourn.
you don't hesitate on that one. Can we get a second?
Second
All in favor?
Aye.
Notice no one's even arguing on that one. Oh,
Well, that's good. We got ourselves a
Bip.